Right, let's move on to our next game. And this week, I'll just go with the number of goals scored per match. And let's go in that order. So, next one will be the game on Sunday. I was going to say the other game on Sunday, but the Motherwell game was on Saturday. The game on Sunday, the early kick-off, St Johnstone against Celtic. St Johnstone getting out to a 1-goal lead. And then Celtic storming back in the last half hour. I was going to, let's see, I practiced this. I actually practiced this. I Googled it, how to pronounce the name. So I didn't watch Sports Scene, so I've not heard their pronunciation of it. And Dialang Jaisime is how they were pronounced. Jaisime? Yeah. There we go, I was too far away. Wait, I did Yasime to start with. That's the right.
What was the first name there?
Dialang.
Shoop, lang, shoop, shoop. What you gonna do, Jaisime? It's a cruel, cruel world.
So I watched this game live on Sunday, and Celtic continue to not look very good, it has to be said. Now, yes, they were a lot better. I've read like Celtic's, on Sky they were saying like scintillating in the last half hour. And even Celtic fans saying like, oh, like much first hour dreadful, much better like last half hour. I was still looking at that going, but was it for two absolute fucking brilliant strikes? I don't think Celtic are getting all 3 points. I'm not going to say they don't get anything out of the game, but I don't think they're getting all 3 points.
And even if you look at that, like St Johnstone had such a huge chance to draw it back to 2-2 there.
Yeah,
so
Jay Turner-Cook.
Yeah, that would have turned everything around. And then you are looking at it, it's like, the only reason they've not been beaten there is because of 2 sort of wonder strikes. I wouldn't be convinced by that whatsoever. And if I'm Rangers, I'm starting to get a wee fluttery feeling that maybe there is.
No, because they're shy, I know.
They're just too shy. But there's something to be had there. There's something to go and take. Scottish Cup, for example, even if it isn't. But even getting for Clement, even being able to put together a proper title race right now, if he was able to get that back down into 4 points or something like that ilk, that would look really good for him going into next season. And Rodgers, they're more than willing to go for him, the Celtic fans. They can create something going into next season, Rangers, by running them close, winning a few derbies, them being in a shit position that goes into next season where they're in a bit of disarray.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could certainly see it happening, but the problem for me is just, I still just think Celtic's a better team. Like, Clement has shown a little bit so far, but not enough that I would say that I still fancy him to win a derby over Rodgers. And then you talk about, well, you get to January, Clement will want to bring his own players in. Rangers will probably free up enough purse strings for him to bring in 1 or 2. But then Celtic are probably going to spend money as well, because their fans aren't happy with it. And I think Rodgers aren't really happy with the state of that squad at the moment. As tell by the fact that they got better in this game, and they did get better in this game, by bringing on Mikey Johnstone.
And James Forrest.
Yes.
As always.
I didn't see anything from Mikey Johnstone to say he should be I'm going to revise my opinion at all, that he definitely should not be a Celtic player in 2023. The fact he's still there is pretty wild and damning over how kind of Celtic have
dealt with recruitment.
Dealt with recruitment at the kind of beyond the initial 12, 13, 14 players they have, which are very good and is a sign of great recruitment, but they've not been so great at kind of filling out, especially this past summer when you're looking at them bringing in quality in reserve. And really, other than Palmer, who else have they brought in? Has been any great? Nobody's really come out so far and they've been like, nah, he's a great player.
Definitely not. Yang's got loads to prove.
Yang was pish in the first half.
Yeah, Nat Phillips hasn't really had any kicking. I mean, to go from being the reserve at Liverpool, only playing in emergencies, to only being broken and used in emergencies for Celtic, I wouldn't be too happy with that. But, and then Iwata, Bernardo's done nothing. I watched him at Easter Road and I thought he was woeful. He just never took part in the game. But yeah, you're right. I mean, in terms of the fringe players, Forrest, and Mickey Johnson all made a big difference in this game.
And is an interesting one, and it's something I know you wanted to talk about. Is it just the time? Is it a time to maybe play a different kind of system, or is it time to actually drop Kyogo? Because the way that Rodgers is using Kyogo, he's better playing if that's how he wants to play.
Yeah, because it works so well with the press in front, because Kyogo works his socks off, and then his movement, if you suffocate teams and kill them, It's the way you need that movement in the box, and he would always be able to play in between the posts because Celtic would just have so many runners coming wide, so many options going at the ball. But sometimes now it looks like sometimes it's just like it's only really Kyogo in the box at times. Yeah. I'm not really convinced, and that doesn't really.
And he's having to drop deep far too much than he should. I mean, he's a decent enough technical footballer. He's got a very, very good first touch, which is when he first was signed by Celtic, and he's like, oh, this is a very kind of slight forward. I was like, not sure that's going to work. As soon as I saw him playing, I was like, just saw his first touch, I was like, I think he'll be fine. So he can do it coming deep, but it's just a waste of his talents.
And the huge issue for him and the huge issue for Celtic, when you take Hatate out the team, it's not like you lose two things when you take Hatate out the team. You lose control of the team. There's nobody. O'Reilly's brilliant and McGregor are brilliant, but I don't think they're not quite. They play with a lot more action, I think, than Hatate. Hatate's much more available. He's more of a string puller, if you like. So you lose that side. But the main thing you lose, which is really affecting Kyogo, is that guy who darts in behind. And they were so good at Celtic, and they were good. The last time I really remember when we thought they'd really motored on was the Hearts game at Tynecastle and then the Atletico Madrid game. And a feature of the Hearts game especially is Hatate boosting in behind the centre halves and the full backs late, and then someone O'Reilly with quality can play balls in behind there. Hatate can go to the byline, cut it back. Who scores? Kyogo. And that was obviously a goal Celtic scored so many times under Ange Postecoglou, and I think none of them do that. Like Turnbull wants the ball at the edge. O'Reilly doesn't really. He could, and he has done it, but he doesn't do it quite as often as Hatate, when he'll make the burst and run in behind. Like when nobody's picking him up, he bursts, someone plays a little dig ball into him. And obviously McGregor's always the guy that's playing further back. So I think they miss him in quite a multitude of ways, Hatate, and no one's feeling the burn on that more than Kyogo, because Palma doesn't like to get to the byline.
No.
Yang doesn't seem to really be going to the byline. So that's really taking away the best things that bring out his movement. But McGregor's goal, that is such a satisfying shot.
Yes. It's like a frustration shot as well. It's like, we're not playing well, we need to go get the ball, get in the fucking net.
Aye. It's absolutely quality, the style of strike that he's got there.
Yeah, aye, and then O'Reilly, just ridiculous.
Aye, man, I'll be doing this now. It's the guy at 5 style when he just gets the ball, he's like that. I would need 50 shots to make that just happen. Spin my weaker foot. I'm just going to smash this into the roof of the net for here. And the goalie's got absolute meat off, who was having a really good game, obviously, during that period.
That save he made for Kyogo didn't end up counting for anything because it would have been flagged offside, but that is outstanding goalkeeping. It's an incredible save.
He's a really, really good...
The save for Turnbull in the first half is very good as well.
He's a really good all-round goalkeeper. Meathoff, he doesn't really make any mistakes, which is lucky for a team like St Johnstone. But I mean, do you want to talk about the way that they set up? I mean, it's got him with 3-4-3 on Westgate. I watched it, it was a 5-4-1.
Yes. Jason be up front by himself. He's like, oh, here's Levine again. The 4-6-0 jokes were out in force before the game.
He's already doing something.
But is this, if they're going to be playing this way, I mean, if you're going to be playing against most teams, Nicky Clark is definitely their best option. But if it's going to be a game where you have to have like this, and like against Rangers, if you're going to have everybody behind the ball for long stretches, has he uncovered something here? Is Jaisime the best option for that? 'Cause he played well,
and he did play well. Yeah, and it wasn't just not just going a scrambled goal on the goal, which we'll get to in a second. That actual goal, but he looked like a handful. He was dropping off at times. He was stretching it a bit because you need to do something like that, because you need to have some space for some of your midfielders to get forward a little bit, and he done that quite well. And then wee Max, he was all right. He was getting the ball forward. It's such an uninspiring team. People always say, I've got a bit of an idea that people, to Johnson fans, think I'm like a bitter about them, but I'm assuming because of the double. But it's just a boring team. Yeah. I really am. It's just really fucking boring team. And but where does this leave? Where does it leave Stevie May, Fowler? If you can get in to do the donkey running with pace, dragging players wide, trying to hold up and being a fighter, if that's now not you, what is your possible role?
Yeah, I don't know how much of a role he has one left at this level. I actually said that.
We've been through this before.
Yeah, I said he should have gone down. He should have gone down the leagues, and I think did I do this on the tennis once? I can't even, like the TV show, that he should have gone down and should have signed for Falkirk. I started bagging in the goals again. Maybe just needs that and just come back.
But do we have something with Jaisime? I'm assuming when they're playing other teams, they might go back to a 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Jaisime and Clark.
Maybe when Clark's fit again.
Because Jaisime is again doing the running, which was always the thing with Clark and May. But Jaisimi's probably quicker than May still. Maybe he has unlocked something that like makes him, because Jaisimi was pish before, like pish when you watched him. And but I always think loads of players that see they're not great at like. Sometimes if they want to try things, Eliu and being the one for him, I prefer them up front where they do it and they buy a yard. And Jaisimi looked like he had a bit about that. Whereas if you play him in the wide, I think they've used him in the wing back role a few times, but it's like it's too dangerous if he's not like if he's not like cute enough with the ball and or he's going to try things or he's going to dribble. And he's maybe not too
especially if your team mindset is organisation and defensive solidity and stuff like that.
It's just not going to work. But yeah, fair play to, I mean, they're already reaping the rewards of like Levine just being really, really organised. And that's exactly, it was a smart managerial one for them to go to because they don't have any money, St Johnstone. They're trying to sell. They don't have a lot of flair players. So you've only got one route to go down. And it's the organisational route. And Levine's really, really good at doing that. So in terms of their board, you're going to have a boring time, but in terms of their board, it's smart, and they'll probably be able to stay up and back here. And I had them gone.
Yeah, I think everybody had them gone.
So yeah, I think he's done. I think it's become a really quite smart move that they made.